watching the lifestyle edition of The Buzz live on Galaxy Television. On to the next topic. Who do you blame when siblings don't like each other? Have you been in a situation where you observed siblings, children of the same parents, acting like enemies? I've actually seen where brothers and sisters, they don't even talk to one another, like in real life. Like they are such enemies, you dare not talk about the other person in the other person's, presence. Is that bad? What are the things that leads to those kind of things, and who really do you put the blame on? Is it on the children themselves who have come of age for them to know what is right from what is wrong? Or would you say it's the parents who raised those children and they didn't instill in them, enough for them to know that love in a family is the most important thing? Now, this conversation came online recently when a young lady, I think, experienced something that blew her away, and she came online in a video to actually talk about this. Let's quickly go take a listen to that video and then we'll come back. Thanks for staying with us. So, who do you blame when siblings don't like each other or when they act like they are enemies? I'll start the conversation from that end of the table. Yeah, Pastor Dolly. So, let's talk about this issue.
To a very large extent, parents are to blame.
Parents.
But we're not going to leave the blame totally at the doorstep of the parents. Because sometimes children may be properly raised, they may be raised to love themselves. The mothers, because one of the ways you raise your children to love themselves is to love them and also teach them the art of love. When a situation where they have love for everyone around them, it's not just about their siblings now. If there are people that have love in them, it is very easy for them to be able to love every other person's around them. So in a situation where some children, they grow up, maybe they get married, they now start having other people who were not raised the way they were raised, having a say in their relationship. And because this person was not raised the way they were raised, is putting things into them that is alien to their upbringing. When you start putting things into somebody, you start putting things into somebody.
Sowing a seed.
Sowing a seed. At a time will come, that seed definitely will germinate. Not only germinate, it will start bearing fruit. And the fruit, when you sow it cannot bring forth to love. It's going to bring forth to hate. It's going to bring forth to what you don't expect to get. That is why in some cases, children that were raised to love, because the third party has entered, hatred has entered amongst them. Then too, parents too, when you are raising children, you even demonstrate love towards one child above another one. The one that is not loved the way you love the other one, we now hate the one
begins to harbor some. Yes.
Love. Why are you giving attention to this particular child? Why
more
is it that
than
you love this child more than us? Before you know it, there is hatred in that particular child against
favoritism.
Favoritism. So we must be able to watch it. Yes, there is no way we can love all children equally. We must be very honest to ourselves. But do you show it? Do you let them understand? Do you show that I love this one more? Because the reason why you actually love one child more than the other, sometimes it's not because you want to love this child more than the other, but there are ways children endear themselves to your heart, the way they behave to you, the way they relate with you.
And let me interject there. Sometimes also circumstances surrounding how you give birth to a child, can
so
also,
like that too, when you give birth to a child and you went through hell,
came back.
Finally, when the child is born, you are like giving that child a
special attention.
Special attention. It might even be that child is even having health issues. Because of that health issue, you're trying to manage it in a way that child will not feel like, oh, it's not loved and all that. Because of that attention you're giving to that child, it can make the other child to hate the one you are giving attention to. So in order to you must be able to balance it. You must be able to, when you are giving special care or special attention to that child that is having challenges, make sure you teach the other one to also join you, to give that special attention to that child, so that he too will understand that it's because of these challenges that we
all of us, yes,
we are giving this attention to this your brother, to this your sister,
exactly,
so that they don't see it like, okay, because we are not like this, that is why you are taking us that way.
Thank you so much. Thank you for beautiful, beautiful points you raised there, Pastor Dolly. All right, let's hear from you, Apostle Jane.
Yeah, the parents contribute largely to this because, just like she said, a family of 5 and the father or the mother pays attention to one child will cause this
sibling rivalry.
Rivalry. And I used to have a friend. He loves one of the child more than the other 3. If he picks up a phone now, the next thing you will hear, he will call the particular name of the child. He will say, I want to give it to this, my son. He did that thing like more than 5 times in my presence. I had to call him to order. I said, this thing you're doing, you won't be able to kill it in the future. Stop it now. And do you know, as I talked about that thing, it was just like a week after I spoke about that thing, one of the sons challenged him. I said, Daddy, why are you always, everything, you call this personal, this one, your personal friend, your clothes you give to him, money you give to him, attention you give to him. What of all of us? Do you know he called me and said, this is just what we discussed last week. These children have taken time to watch this trend. They've seen that your
children are very sensitive.
Very, very sensitive.
Very.
And if these things are not caught now, in the future, they will start killing themselves, fighting against themselves, hating on each other. Why is it that, okay, and another thing, you know, when a father or a mother is about to die, they have properties. They say, okay, the first son of the family carries this thing. It's not supposed to be so. It's not supposed to be so, because this thing also will generate hatred amidst siblings. Me, I feel like me and my husband, we have an agreement. Whatever we have, if it is 1 car, we will sell it, share the money equally to everybody. Because the truth is, there was no time that the child that you carry and you say is the first son of the family contributed to whatever you have. You are the one that you actually
invested in the child.
Invested on that child. So all of them should have equal rights. All of them. Yes, male or female. They should have equal rights so that this rivalry will not continue. This hatred, these discrepancies will not continue. But if you don't do that, they will know. Okay, like my mother, let me use my mom as an example now. She comes from a family, a polygamous family. The first wife gave birth to male, female, male. And that the first wife happened to be my mother's mother. So, you know, because of this rivalry we are talking about, the other women came and they saw that the first wife had a son, but 3 ladies. Before. I mean 2 ladies, with a son. That guy mysteriously died. Just like that. That's my mom's younger brother. Just like that, mysteriously died. So the second wife gave birth to a son first, and then had other ones. And then the third wife, just like that. Now their father died. The whole property was given to one person. And now the other ones were like, what about us? Problem started. It took wisdom for my mom to be able to settle this matter. But before this got to the extent of this settlement, they had started killing themselves. Now, how do you settle that kind of issue? The person that I should say caused it
is dead
and gone.
And this culture,
it's a whole culture. Yeah, thank you.
It is culture, but you know, the world is revolving, and we are seeing every day that things are changing. Even in the Bible, there was a man that had 7 daughters.
Zephaniah's children,
Job's daughters.
Yes, they had just daughter. I'm going to remember his name. So when Moses was, you know, naming the
Inheritance.
The inheritance, the tribes and everything. What happened there was that they knew that they do not have a son. And they wanted to move that thing to another family. But those ladies went in and they sat with themselves and talked about it. How can this thing be moved? Our father's inheritance. He was a good man. He attended meetings. He did this, he did that. And they went to meet Moses. And God said to Moses, give this thing to them. So these things can be changed. If it was changed in the Bible, we can change it.
Okay.
Work towards it.
Thank you so much.
And to add to what you just said,
Yes.
like I always say, when we talk about traditions,
Zelophehad, that was the name of the
when
man.
we talk about traditions, it's usually somebody that started somewhere.
That is it.
If someone started, someone can end it.
That is it.
So we cannot say because it is the tradition.
It
For
must kill
instance,
others.
the first wife, she had a son. The son even died, right? Then somebody escaped. The person probably was not even there when that thing was acquired.
Yeah.
Because normally second, third wife, fifth wives comes in after the man's acquires whatever he wants to acquire in life. And somebody else just come in to come and inherit. There's no way there will not be problem. We must allow equity to always play.
Thank you, Pastor Dolly. All right, Mrs. Ideho, let's talk about this issue of siblings not liking each other, you know, and where it stems from.
It's really a big thing because virtually in African family, there is practically no family you might not find this happening. It's only a few families that you will not see it manifest. So I think they've said a lot, parents. I think I sat down and I thought about it because I'm also a victim of it. You understand? And I thought about it when I started having children. You know, at first I saw my children going towards that way. You know, but my husband did a research. He said that they need that. It's not rivalry but quarrel. He said one of the reasons why siblings quarrel, especially male and female, is because they don't end up developing emotional feeling for themselves.
For each other.
I think there was a way he did that.
I get that.
Yes, so that is different from, you know, growing up and
hating each
other.
Yeah.
You know, so I intentionally, I will say that ignorance it's one of the reasons, because some parents actually don't know what they are doing. They feel that they have loved their children equally as mother should or as father should, but ignorance play a role in this, in the sense that there are little things we do, you know, because I'm a victim. I can see the signs. You know, my immediate younger sister, even up till now, because of knowledge, I felt okay, I can change this narrative. So that's what I'm trying to do. I just feel that it is not our fault. We grew up like this. Let me give you instances. I'm the first child, and I came at the time they had everything. Everything was going well, and I was pampered, I was spoiled, and all that. And when my immediate younger sister came, things were still okay, but they were still loving me. My dad, my mom, everything was showered on me. I could remember situations where I will ask my dad for anything at all, and he will give to me. And my sister would just go and ask, and my dad would say, don't disturb me. Though my dad said something, he said it is the way she was asking. You know, a point came that she started asking my mom, are you sure this is
my father?
It was that bad. And my mom didn't know how to balance it. No, as we now started growing up, my father now started going towards her, loving her, but it was already
too late.
So I saw this played out. So when I was having my children, when they were growing, there were these things they were doing which parents should watch out for. When I buy something for my son, you know, it's easy to get, maybe on your way, you just discover that it's only men canvas. I'll buy canvas. And another time again, where I work, they'll still bring men things. I'll buy another men canvas, making two I bought for my son.
For him, then the daughter.
My daughter will not say, it's only your son. Immediately, I told her, never you say that again. I only bought this because they brought it for me, and it was cheap, and I don't know the time I will have opportunity to get it again. I said, when they which I pray they will bring for you, I'll buy yours. So at times it is not parents don't know what they are doing. So that's why I said it's not intentional. It's not. You can't change the way people feel. So another factor here is the temperament of your children. We need to watch out for the temperament of our children. And we should know that all our children are different. There are some they don't talk. They are bottling it up. They are looking for a time.
They will explode.
They will explode. So you as a mother, you think that she's cool with it and all that. I remember there was a time in my church, they said teenagers should write what they are facing at home. My daughter wrote that in my house. It is my brother, and it broke my heart. And you know, I thank God that I had that opportunity to hear it. Why? Because at that time the brother was preparing for WAEC. So it's like we kept all the attention on him. Wake him up in the morning to read. We were talking to him, but because I'm talking about temperament, so parents we should also watch out our children's temperament. She's not the type that speaks out. It's not like I loved her less, but because she's not the type that speaks out, she was just bottling it. Because the first time she ever spoke out, I explained to her. I told her that it's because I saw. So she believed that okay, it is because he's preparing for WAEC, but he kept it. But it wasn't going down well with her. So it is a lot. It has to, at times it's not the fault of the parents. At times it is intentionally. I mean, at times it is our ignorance. Then we should not overlook our children's temperament. We should
at times too, you know, this human nature of wickedness is just in somebody. There are some children that are just born that. I'm telling you, I've seen no. You know, we run it.
They are just born wicked.
Oh,
is that what you are saying?
No. That's temperament.
Is there a child born wicked? No.
It is called temperament. There are some people, I'm not good in psychology. They have different types of temperament. There are some people, the way they behave, the way they react, it is their temperament. They might not want to say it, but they are waiting for a time.
No, we are not talking about as in children. You know, we are talking about a grown-up person at this moment now. A child metamorphosing to
an adult. Okay.
Now, the wicked tendencies. It's also, you know, the Bible says the heart of a man is desperately wicked. Who can know it? There are people that they just see that some things, favor just comes on a person. And they are like, why is it always this person? Why is it always this person? And this thing begins to build from the inside. You never can tell. And he just sees something coming to that person again, and she blocks it or he blocks it. It's something that has been there for a long time. You know, maybe she even grew up from a family that she has been seeing all these things, and maybe the parents had not taken note of it, and the people that are around, or maybe friends, had not even taken note of it. But with time, this thing has built up in this person, and this person is acting it out. It's also in every angle. But children too, I see some children do these things. You give a child something. Okay, let me cite an example of what happened in the school. We gave a child her food. She didn't eat the food. What happened, I don't know. But I found out that at the end of the day, when the teacher brought the child has been crying. What we tried to find out, are you having tummy ache, headache or something? Nothing. We carried the food, according to the teacher, put the food back in the food flask. Do you know what happened? The following day, we had gone home. We came back, and the next thing we started hearing voices from the gate. And then I'm like, who is at the gate making noise? It was a parent shouting, why did you put this food flask in my child's lunch bag? Why did you put this thing here? This one, that one. The teacher came, and she was like, and I said, what happened? He said, Chibi, I remember Suzu person that didn't eat yesterday, that should put back the food in her bag. But he doesn't know how this flask
now got into the lunch bag.
And she now said to me, madam, that this is not the first time this thing is happening.
Okay, so what happens? The child changes her
this thing.
Why?
I don't know. This is
why does she get the one she used to change it?
Is our colleague, is our
classmate.
Classmate.
And the one that does not have food.
Yes. So we now found that, I took out time to check out. I said, what could have caused it? I found out that she does not like
The food.
Not the food. She does not like the teacher.
Okay, so she's trying to put the
She's
teacher
trying to
in
put
trouble.
the teacher in trouble.
You see, quickly, ma'am.
Okay, what I want to say again is that, like from what she just said now, parents must be able to watch out some tendencies in their children.
True.
There are children that when you give food, maybe you give them food, that will always want to get the bigger part, maybe the bigger meat every time, that want to eat without thinking about others. You must be able to correct that at the early stage. Because if you don't correct that child, if you don't straighten that,
they grow like that.
They will grow like that. They become so greedy. That is why you will see one person, maybe your parent has lands, they have houses,
and he wants to take everything.
And he wants to sit on everything all alone without thinking about others. That tendencies has been there, but unwashed. If you watch it from that early stage, I'm sure we'll be able
you can check so many things. Like I was saying earlier, children are very, very intelligent. Let's not say because they're a child, they don't know what they are doing. They do know sometimes, and then they play mind games with their parents. They actually know how to, maneuver. So what I'm trying to say is, as a parent, you have to be emotionally intelligent as well. All right, this issue of sibling rivalry, like Mrs. Dell said, there's hardly any African home where you wouldn't have experienced it growing up, okay? And like she also rightly said, a lot of our parents did a lot of things out of ignorance. You can only give what you have. The amount of knowledge or information available to them was how they managed to raise a lot of us. But as we grow, as we have access to more information, more knowledge, exposure, we try and correct some of the things that are not so palatable, okay? I also experienced a bit of sibling rivalry growing up, all right? We're girls in my family, 3 of us. I'm the eldest, and my immediate younger sister, first off, I was a child that was waited for a very long time. My parents waited 7 years before I came, so you can imagine the kind of love, and joy, when I came. My father was over the moon. Instantly, I was his favorite. Till tomorrow is a secret. Anyways, so 4 years later, when my immediate younger sister came, she was my mother's carbon copy and all of that. Automatically, she was my mother's favorite. Like everybody, if you stay 1 hour with us, you will know, this one is the papa's zone, this one is the mama's zone. Do you understand? Then the last one, the girl, she was neither here nor there. She was just neutral. And it started from when she was a baby. She didn't give a damn who the father was, she was just on her own. All right, so what I'm trying to say is, my father, showed so much love to me, to the point that it became a problem between myself and my mom. At a time, even my uncles were calling me my father's wife, all right? My father will always support me over my mom. And it made me so happy as a child. If I say, I want pounded yam, and my mom says, no, it's eba this time, my father will say, you will pound that yam. It was like that. For him, it was his way of showing his love for me. It wasn't anything he was doing to make anybody feel. It was just his way of showing me love. And then my mother and myself, we didn't get along until I became a mother myself, and I understood what my father was doing back then could have actually destroyed a mother and a daughter's relationship for life, if not that I was smart enough to now begin to correct myself, start to appreciate my mother, and then intentionally I gravitated towards her with so much love, at forgetting my father intentionally. And he will say, when did this love start? I will say, the mama that gave birth to me, there's nobody like her. Thank God I did that before she passed on. I'm trying to tell you, some things are done out of error, we don't know. But parents, be emotionally smart. Thank God now we are adults, me and my sisters. In fact, your family is the greatest support you can have on this earth. If you have a good family support, you have it all. So if there are issues in your family, find a way, all right, to resolve them. And if you're a parent, don't ever choose one child over another. Don't compare one child over another. Yes, I have a son who he has asked me this thing more than 15 times. Mommy, who's your favorite child? I said, I don't have a favorite child. All of you, I born all of you the same way. You are all the same to me. You know, every time you come and ask me, one day I called in and I'm like,
he thinks he's the
are you the devil? You are all the same. Anyways, that's where we rest it for another life.